Hey YouTube. So today I wanted to basically do some live design work, and I wanted to set myself a bit of a challenge of taking a website that's out there in the wild and giving myself a kind of set time period to try to make that website look a bit better. So I wanted to work on a recruitment website, and what I did was just search for kind of top recruitment agencies, London or something like that. I came across these guys. So this is EC1 Partners, and this is their current website. And I'll just quickly show you. Something's going wrong there. Let me just refresh it for you. Okay. Yeah, that loaded really strangely. I wonder if it's... There we go. It's finally all loaded in. It could be actually because I'm streaming. So this is the website. It's kind of simple. It's got this slider at the top. We'll come to that. What we do section, what makes us different section, our clients, footer with some get in touch info. Super basic, menu along the top. There's not a lot going on here, and it's certainly not a terrible website by any means, but I feel like it's just missing that kind of professional sheen to it. Now I just want to point out that I'm almost slightly uncomfortable doing these videos because it feels like I'm bashing a designer. I'm not. Every project is the way it is for a reason. Everyone's doing their best. I don't know who designed this. I'm not saying they did a bad job. I'm just saying that I wanted to try to put my own spin on it and see if I could improve it in some ways. I'm sure the person that designed this originally could also do that. So yeah, certainly no judgments or anything to be made. I just wanted a little challenge. And I thought this was a good one just because it is quite simple. So what I did is I recreated this whole website over in... Let me just make sure I'm looking at the right window. Let me just grab that window over there. I don't know what you can see all the time. So if I jump over to my desktop monitor over here, and here you can see I've got Sketch open, and I have recreated that entire website in Sketch. So it took me a little while, but it was, yeah, that's what I've done. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that Sketch file and I'm just going to try to improve it basically. Let me just need to get a reference file open. I'm just going to open something now. There we go. Perfect. Benefits of having lots of monitors. Okay, cool. Just doing some desktop tidying. So let's start from a kind of global perspective. Something I noticed with this website is that there's quite a few fonts that are being used. There's lots of font sizes. There doesn't seem to be kind of a lot of consistency. There is a lot of consistency in the color scheme, which is great. So it's this kind of a very dark gray, the red color, and the white, which is good. There is some consistency in the size of the fonts at different levels and things, which is good. But it's a bit plain, it's a bit boring. There's some slightly strange spacing issues and other things. So let's have a go. All right. Let's just double check and make sure that you can see me okay. Yeah, okay. So I've got, first thing I want to look at really, in fact the very first thing I want to do is I want to turn on some grid layout. So I've just got a basic grid layout that I use, I can toggle that on and off in Sketch. It's a 12 column grid. It's nothing, nothing spectacular, but it'll help me. Let me just actually double check that grid setting just to make sure. It's layout settings in Sketch. Total width 1200. Yeah, that'll do. It could go a bit wider actually. Maybe 1280. Oh, that didn't work. That's something that really annoys me in Sketch. I always do this, constantly hitting enter and then coming back. So I want to center that. Okay, there we go. So that's the grid I'm going to use. The first thing I would like to do is this design is just highly centrally aligned. And if you've seen any videos or anything that I've put out in the past, you'll know that I do not love center alignment. It has its place, and we'll use a bit of it, I think, but it's not my favorite. So the first thing I want to do is kind of get rid of some of the center alignment, and I'm going to do that start in the header. And I'm going to do that by doing something that isn't particularly exciting, but I'm going to grab the logo and I'm going to stick it. I'm going to stick it in the header. Let's just make sure we pull that up into, there it is. So obviously, that doesn't look great, but it will. The first thing to do, I think, is to change the color of the text on the partner's text. And the other thing I'm going to do just quickly, while it's kind of handy to do, is throw that over there, and I'm just going to make sure that that is center aligned. And okay, so a couple of things here. I think the font sizes are too big. So with font size, you know, usually I'd start design. That's what I start with. I start with the typography, so the font families or the typefaces, working out the sizes, the kind of hierarchy and everything like that for headings and everything, line heights. I don't have time to go into all that because that is quite time consuming. So I'm going to use the kind of default font scale that you get in something like Sketch. So I'm going to use that as much as possible. I think that is an appropriate size. Let me just... Everything's a little bit slow actually because I'm streaming and I've probably got 5 million apps open. I will try to remember next time to close some stuff down before I start. I'm just going to eyeball that because I think the line font's a bit weird in terms of where the actual baseline is. Okay, good start, I think. I like that. So the next thing is I showed you the if I go over to eCal again and quickly, where is my screen? If I quickly jump to the live site, it's got this slider, and I hate sliders. This is a particularly annoying slider because the only thing that changes is the image. So there's like just 0 point to this really. I'm going to get rid of it. It's going to save us a bit of bandwidth on the image downloads if this actually turned into a website. And I'm just going to try to make that just slightly more impactful, I would say. So switching back over to the Sketch file. Start with the alignment. So I'm going to go left on all these. They already are. That's cool. Let's just line them up quickly to the left. Let's bring our grid back into play. I don't know where I'm going to put this exactly, but let's experiment with some things. Let's just start by putting it kind of hard left. Okay. So we've already got EC1 partners. I don't think we really need that to be particularly big, but it's okay at the size. What I really want, I think, to bring out is this where talent works. So we'll try, I've saved the red color here. So that's all right. Let's see what we can do. I think we could go even bigger than that. Let's just try something. Like, why not? You know, you've got this big area to play with. Why not use it? We'll go for a 120 line height. Not that that makes a massive difference at this point, but and then this kind of fades away a little bit. So we've got this Oswald font, we've got Lato or Lato, and we've also got I think it's Merriweather, is it? Montserrat. Okay, so that's too many fonts for me. What's the body text? That's Lato as well. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep Lato. I think I might ditch the Montserrat because that's the one that just looks weird. So I can keep this in Lato, that's fine. So it's just the Montserrat I'm going to get rid of. Again, let's use something from this type scale. That's quite good. That's not good. Do you know what? It's just about experimentation sometimes. That's almost too much now. Let's see if I can bring that back. Okay. Interestingly, that just doesn't look like it lines up. But we can sort that out. That's fine. That's fine. I like that, actually. I'd probably even bring EC1 partners back down a little bit, but let's roll with that for now. Is the spacing okay? I think the spacing's okay. So the other thing that this hero section is lacking, in my opinion, is some call to action buttons. Let me just double check. You can see me? Yep. So slightly lacking, I think, in call to action buttons here. So should we do some simple buttons, and what might those buttons do? Well, if you're coming to a page like this is a recruitment agency, you're probably coming for two reasons. You're probably coming either as a potential client or a potential candidate. So I think we should have two call to action buttons in the hero. One should be for candidates, one should be for clients. The obvious one for candidates is jobs. The obvious one for clients, probably just looking at the main menu, is services. So let's build a couple of buttons, and while I do that, I'm going to have a Jaffa cake. One Jaffa cake done. I've got one more on my desk. Okay, so I'm going to make these buttons colored. So we're using the Lato text. We're on 24. That's cool. Let's stick a couple of. I need to make sure my layers and stuff are accurate as well soon. Otherwise, that's going to catch me out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to increase the width by maybe give it 30 each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. Let's do that. And then center align that. And let's make this our red. Not entirely convinced by that. I'd like to see that a little bit kind of bolder and more prominent. Because we're going pretty bold here. Let's just play with the button size then. So we're at 40, so let's go for 50. And let's go for another couple of. Okay. It'll do. So I think. I'm just going to bring that to the side. I think I gave it 1, 2, 3. 30 on each side, I think, for services. That looks about right. Services and jobs, so I'm just going to group those. Jobs button. Let's group these. I will thank myself later for grouping things and naming things properly. And I want to put these, so it's hero background, hero content. So let's create a whole hero group as well. Again, I'll thank myself later for that. And obviously then these buttons actually need to be somewhat aligned to something. The obvious thing is just to go in there somewhere. So just for ease, I'm using, for typography, I'm just going to use the kind of default stack, and for spacing, like vertical spacing and things, I'm just going to use 10s. So like that. I'll speed things up a little bit. Let's take the layout off and see how that looks. I mean, I don't love this headhunting for the global fintech market, kind of gets lost in this image. So I would potentially choose a new image, or I would potentially use some kind of image treatment so that the text is more readable. Lots of good reasons to do that. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that section for now, that whole top section. I think that's an improvement. So the next thing I want to do is this what we do section. Let's bring the layout back in. And first thing to tackle is these headings. So I've actually created a heading style called section title. And that's used in all these, you can see those 3 sections there. I'm going to change that because currently it is Montserrat. Which I just don't think we need to use. So let's jump in and go for the Oswald. It's just much more branded then, and I really prefer that. And then we're going to again use this kind of font stack or font size hierarchy. I don't think we need that. Don't need to worry about paragraph really because we don't have any. Line heights, if we're going 48, I mean we could go 60 for line heights, and then I'm going to update the section title style, and you can see bang bang that's done that kind of across the board. Okay, so make sure that's central aligned. There we go, and then 1 2 3 4 5, that'll do. Okay, center aligned paragraph text. Please don't do it. I think it's okay whenever it's like maybe a line or like 2 or 3 lines, but when you're getting into like multiple paragraphs or long paragraphs, it's just hard to read. It looks messy. It's not nice. Do everybody a favor and stop. So I'm just gonna left align it. I'm gonna line it up to the grid. I think that looks good. What I don't like about this is the font sizes and line heights. So 20, it's actually a 22 font size, which is interesting. It's quite big. I'm just going to go to 21 just so that we're kind of consistent. And then I'm just maybe going to try, oh no, definitely not 90 line height. I actually think this font needs a bit more. I mean, that's quite a lot. That's almost double. What's 21 times 1.5? Okay, I quite like that. So there's no text style here. I don't think we use this again. So I'm just going to create a text style called body copy. And really annoyingly, all those red links have come off. So, which is kind of understandable. Sales marketing. So if I go down to support and technology, because I like the way they had this treated. Whoa, we're on late. Yeah, later. That's fine. Bold, I think, or is it black? Could be black just to get that extra contrast, and then red. Obviously, commas probably wouldn't be links, but give me a break. Let's go black again for that. Black weight, and then I like it. Let's take the layout off. Just have a look at that. Hard to know without comparing side by side, but I think that looks like an improvement. Let's Look at how this is spaced out. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, this section I just really don't like. Let's give ourselves a bit more space to play with here, because we're going to need. Have I layered this up nicely? Don't know. No, it doesn't look like it. What was I talking about? Thanking myself later. Let's get all this and that background grouped into a footer group. And this, oh dear, what is that? Clients. Wow. That. Let me go into clients. Oh, it's really quite slow whenever you're streaming. You need a more powerful machine. There might be some background noises here, by the way, people, but hope you don't mind. I do have a family. They do live in this house. Oh yeah, and these are the little, okay, so that's that section. These, I think, is that one, oh, whoops, nope. Let's bring that one into the footer. And this one, bring that one into the footer too. Double checking because I knew I duplicated things earlier. Right, all that just to allow me to do I was going to allow me to do that. Bye. Let's go a little bit further. I think I need about that much space. So for this, I am going to use a really kind of common layout idea. It's basically text on one side, image on the other. At high rise, we call that feature row. Nice visual way to block stuff out and create a bit of visual interest. So what I don't like about this, it's really hard to read that text for a start. A, because it's on this image and this white background is not strong enough. The opacity, would need to be something like that for it to be really readable. And it's center aligned. So let's fix a few of these problems. So we'll open up this section, market knowledge. So I sort of named one of them, which was good. Trusted advisors is going to go down here. It's not going to look like this. Okay, where's my phone? That can go off. So the first one I'm going to do is market knowledge, and I'm going to need to bring the grid in a second, but let me just double check how I built this up. So I'm not going to need this mask, I don't think. So I'm going to unmask that so I can get the full image. I'm not going to need this, and I'm going to use this. Let's bring the layout in. Okay, I'm going to guess that's Montserrat. Yeah, it's going. Three typefaces is too much unless you really know what you're talking about. So Oswald Bolt, maybe? Ooh, maybe. Not actually sure about that, and I might even go later with that. But we're going to left align it. In fact, text style. Save ourselves some headache. There we go. And this actually I'm going to turn into, oh, it is an H3. Okay, so let's update H3. Boom. Interestingly, that trusted advisors one had not been set to H3. So I'm going to do that now. So they're all consistent, and I'm going to actually just, because I'm going to have to do it eventually anyway, just set that to body copy. It'll left align it, which will be nice, and set that to body copy. Okay. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to line those up like so. And Let's get this out of the way. So this image, okay, and we've got this. So I'm going to group these so that I can use a mask. And let's see, how high can we go? Don't know exactly, but I'm just going to align them up in a minute. So I'm going to just get that sitting nicely within the columns. And in fact, I'm not going to need the mask for this one, but I will use it for others. In fact, I'll just make sure that it matches all the other ones. So, mask. And then I can copy that rectangle in and use that. Alright. Let's take this, bump it right up against that, and then give it a nice bit of spacing, and then let's get this centrally aligned with the image. There we go. And then we're just going to reverse that for the next one. So the next one's relationships. Let's bring that somewhere around here. Don't know how much space I want to give them yet. Get trust advisors down there a bit more. So relationships is going to go over here. Oh, we need to get rid of the mask. Mask, get rid, go away. So this, the market knowledge text is 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. So I'm going to come in 4 columns from the, why can't I click that? Do you ever get that? Oh my goodness. Yep. Nope. There's something like, it's not that. It's that. For relationships, can I grab you now? No. That is super interesting. What is going on there? For the time, I'm just going to manually kind of stick that in generally the right place. And same with this. Can you remember how many I brought it down? 1, 2, 3, I think. And then line it up with our image. Mind you, this image is going to have to probably change size. So this is where I'm going to go and grab the rectangle because I want it to be the same size. So I'm going to grab that rectangle and I'm going to put it instead of this rectangle. And because it's a mask, it's going to try to mask the whole lot. But I just want it to mask the image. And let's get rid of that one. And what I need to do now is move the rectangle. It's in totally the wrong place. Okay, just grab it now. Hopefully, yeah. And I'm going to line that up. And that should nicely get rid of that. So we've got the image in here. Let's just click on that and let's just get that in. There we go. Good. And then we'll do the same again. Trusted advisors can come all the way over here. It can't see it because that mask is still on. But I'll do it in a second. Get rid of that. And that rectangle can go. And then do I still have my, I do. Just gonna turn the mask off for a second. Just grab that, yep, good. And I want to line that up again. Something like that. Put this image inside it, we can line that up in a second. Make those a group. And make that a mask. There you go, all the images are now the same size, which is just nice for consistency. And last but not least, let's vertically align that. And make sure that is spaced approximately the same, so that's 75, so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good to start. Each of them are 80. Is that good? I think that's good. Let's try that without, sometimes you need to look at it without layout. So I think what could be nice here as well is that you might want to put like a little link under each of these, just saying find out more, and it could link to like, you know, a relevant page or something like that. I also think we could probably do something sort of interesting with the images. Images are kind of hard because, you know, you can do things like drop shadows or borders or anything. Something that I occasionally do. Let's just have a look at, let's jump in here. So we've got this rectangle. I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to throw it underneath. I'm just going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, it's got a mask on it because it was copied. You know, something as simple as that just gives a little bit of interest to what was previously a pretty boring image treatment. As well, it was as boring as you can get. There was no image treatment. So yeah, something to. I'm just going to do that. You know, just 1, 2, 1, 2, and pull it underneath. So we've got this kind of shadow effect. One more in here. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. I think that's way better already. I really do. Cool. This might sound really stupid, but what I probably think of doing is actually maybe reverse some of these images. So for example, I think it's always nice when like faces are looking towards the text rather than away from. I wonder if that's going to work. Does that look a bit strange? It looks strange now, but I don't think it looks the other way. Let's go and do the same thing to this one. These are quite, I think these are quite high quality images, which is why it's taken a while. That's okay. Kind of would want him slightly more centralized. Something like that. Oh, my poor MacBook. It's dying. Okay. I like it. I like it so far. We're getting somewhere. Next is this client slider. I'll show you that in on the other screen. Hopefully, yeah. So this is it. Now, initially I was kind of confused by this, and it was just me being a bit stupid, but I didn't know that these two were related. I thought like that was just, I don't know, a random logo and this was some text, but a bit weird to put Group CEO for me in front of the name just like this. Like, just find this all just a little bit confusing. Looking back at it, it's not that confusing, but anyway, I wasn't a fan of this section. I don't mind it being a slider. I think that could work, but I think we could do better. And it was weird the way there's this underline treatment on this title, whereas there isn't on any of the others. Find that a bit strange. So let's jump back into Sketch and we will try to fix this. So first thing I'm going to do is just to get rid of the underline. Don't like it. Bye. I've got an idea for this section that actually shows all of the logos and then kind of highlights the text. I think that'll probably be enough space. So let's try that out. So the first thing, I'm going to get rid of that line. That's capitalized. Not sure it has to be really, and I would probably do that. I think that makes a lot more sense. Let's get rid of that. NASDAQ, you're coming down here. And in fact, just for the sake of later on, I'm going to crop you so that I've got a bit more control. Okay. Okay, cool. Again, so centerline text potentially could work here, actually. It could differentiate a quote or, you know, testimonial from regular body text on the page. At the minute, it just looks a bit kind of dull. It's untreated. So let's see what text styles we have available. See if we can base it on anything that we've already got. So we've got this body copy text style. I mean, no, it doesn't look like it's someone saying something. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it doesn't. Let's have a look at italic. I actually like the italic lato. I think it looks pretty nice. Might want to bring it up a bit. Maybe not that much. And that's all right. Maybe. Maybe we do want to bring it up a little bit more. Let's go with the 36. And in that case, let's go for that 50. Let's bring in our layout. I'm gonna kind of put this in here somewhere. That's pretty good. And then this Denise Francis text I want to treat slightly differently than it is, so I'll probably come down a font size. That's pretty good, actually. I wonder if we want to go a bit longer with this. You just want to get the kind of the line length right, just for it's easier to read. That's quite nice. But what I think I might do, actually, and I kind of cheated a little bit in the sense that I grabbed something earlier. Now I just need to find it. I grabbed an image of Denise, actually, off of LinkedIn. So that's what I'm going to look for. And I'm just see where it is. I think it's here. Don't know how big this is. I love images on testimonials, and I like circular images. So I'm going to draw one. I'm going to draw a circle. Where are we? I'm going to group those. I'm going to call it Denise. And I'm going to mask it. And I'm going to make it way smaller. So what I'm going to do is this can move for a second. Let's lock that into a circle, and let's say we want this to be 60. So I like that size, actually. That's nice. That fits. It's kind of a column as well, which is nice. And then we would, so where does that need to go? Denise picture. Let's just put it beside clients. Let's just line those two up vertically. Like it? I quite like it. I think it looks nice. Let's, I think I can maybe do it with a bit of space. This is tricky, actually. I think that's a bit better. Okay, so what are we going to do with the logos? So again, I've cheated a little bit and downloaded all the logos. So if I go and grab them. Whoa! Some of those are massive. Let's set height. Where are they all going to disappear to? Oh, I've lost them. Where my logo gone? Not what I meant to do. Let's do them over there. Zero. There they are. There they are. Let's bring those in. Logos are kind of tricky to deal with sometimes because of all the kind of not aspect ratios, but yes, you know, some of them are wide, some of them are square, some are like taller. So they can be really tricky to get right. We're going to try, obviously, to get them right. Where are they all? So it's those, and the NASDAQ one. Is that all of them selected? Let's try it. Logos. Yeah. Okay. So everything in here now, I should be able to say is 60 tall. Eee! Ouch. I think that's what I did say though, isn't it? Okay, hopefully those didn't all... No, those are all good. Those all look good. Okay, 60 might be too tall, but let's just kind of get these all lined up. Yeah, I think we need to go smaller than that. That's good. 40 seems good. So like that Bissam one, even though it's the same height, that's because there's white space around them. So that this is the thing, this is the challenge. So I'm going to manually just bring that down so it looks kind of equivalent to the others. And I'm just going to grab all of those and I'm going to say line them up please and space them out. Alright, can bring them in a bit actually. So I can bring that one in a bit, bring this one in a bit, and then select them all again, and again just say space them out. Don't mind if they're slightly uneven. There we go. Like that, just make sure that's centered on the screen. Okay, we're getting somewhere here. Alright, I'm just going to remove the arrows for now because we're going to use the logos themselves as the navigation. And what I'm going to do, I've got an idea for this. Right, let's go, let's add in, so I'm just going to block of dark color for now, but I'm going to make this look very different in a second. Let's just grab this gray. Everything will disappear, that's fine. Let's make those white for now so we can see them. And then what I was thinking would be that we would have some kind of little triangle poking up. From the one that is active. And do you know what you could do? You could even fade the others, could you? That could be quite nice. So I think we could come a bit higher with these now. Let's see what we can do. Something like that, maybe. And let's grab all the logos, fade them out a little bit, and then we will highlight. Or you could even go black and white, except that could look quite nice. Can I just ditch the saturation? No, took that. Why did I not like that? I did. It's just taking a very long time to do it. So I'm ditching the saturation and I'm taking the, just going to take the opacity down, and I'm going to wait for it to chop because it's being ultimately slow here. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the NASDAQ one specifically, and I'm just going to undo what I just did. So that can come back up to 0, and the opacity can come back up. So kind of sort of highlighting that NASDAQ is the one that's active. If I had more time with this, I actually might make this bit a little slider and contain it a bit more, because that NASDAQ's kind of pushed way off to the side, which makes the position of the arrow slightly strange in an ideal world. you'd want that below it. In fact, let's do this properly. Let's swap these around. So I can't remember exactly where that was, so I'm going to do this again. And then make sure that's kind of centrally aligned, and then we can go like that. Is that nice? Do we like that? I don't know. It's getting there, I think. It's certainly better than it was. You could even reverse this, and these client logos could go along the top easily. That could look quite cool too. I'm going to give this all a bit more space. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's grab this rectangle and make it 1, 2, 3. A bit more space for it to live in. And another thing you might think of doing here is possibly even adding like a blurry kind of background image to this. Could look really nice with a kind of color treatment. Let's see if I have any appropriate images to do that with. Photos, I think I do. They're pretty big images, but let's do them anyway. I've got some kind of stock images of like offices, sort of appropriate, I guess. Probably don't want empty office, but it'll do. Let me grab one that's half decent. Don't like that. So I'm doing this off screen. Should bring this in. These are all unsplash images. I mean, something like that. This isn't an image I would use, but I'm just going to play with it for now, just to kind of show you my thinking. It's nicely done that. So let's grab it into here. Let's put it in a group with the rectangle so that we can then use the rectangle as a mask. And we would want to probably set some kind of opacity. Even that's kind of nice. But what I was thinking of doing was giving it a bit of blur. It depends what the image is. Let's just, I'm going to add that color because we use that. I mean, that's a bit aggressive, isn't it? But you might want to start thinking about using a slightly different at some point. Anyway, kind of slightly more interesting than it was. Where are we at then? Doing alright, I think. Doing alright. I want to wrap it up soonish because I kind of wanted to show what was possible in, I guess, a short period of time. The footer, yeah, I don't love. It's not terrible, but let's just tidy it up a little bit. If we're going to use the section title, let's use it, and we will use a white version of it. To be consistent. Spacing isn't great, so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to need more. We're going to need more room. Let's just drag that down a little bit. So what have we got here? We've got a rectangle. Let's just give ourselves some space to play with here. Have we got like a line? Why is that going to 2 lines? Okay. Okay, centrally aligned. No, we're not going to do that, are we? We're not going to do that. We are going to go left aligned. Let's bring in our layout, and let's get that nicely. We can probably use body copy, but obviously white. Don't know how to do style variations. I'm sure there's a way to do that in Sketch that would be really useful. And 1, 2, 3, no, 2. And then what's this? Aha! Got some rogue Montserrat. Don't want that. So we can use either Leto or Oswald. Let's see what the Oswald is going to look like. We did have an H3 style, didn't we? Obviously, it's not the right color. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Okay. So that's the bottom of that. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's recreate this now across the board. Now I need to remember what I've just done, which isn't always easy. Let's move this way down. Bye bye. In fact, I almost want to get rid of that. Okay, body copy, white. Looks nice. What did I say this was? This is H3 white, isn't it? H3 white. Come on, help me out here. Sketch. I'm trying to line everything up. Give me guides to play with. I think that's about right. I think. And let's do it with these as well. So let's go H3. We're nearly done. This is good. H3 white. So we're on the 4s here. Probably we could actually center line these. You know, it wouldn't be terrible at all. For this to be center aligned, I don't think it would be kind of consistent. And then we're going to go with body copy. You know, if I was in any way clever, I would have made a new style. There's something, there it is. I think there's a, they're not quite right, are they? Is that partners one too high? No, that's right. Okay, don't like that, but I might actually just leave that for now. Have we done? It is interesting that, because I don't think it works. This, gotta be honest, when things don't work. The center alignment of that get in touch with us is not really working with the left alignment here. So if I just, let me just try something out. Can't remember. That's not going to look good. Okay. This would need a bit to be played with a little bit more. I do really want to avoid the center aligning everything. Maybe just giving it a bit more space would be good. So let's group these. You know, just separating them a little bit might help to avoid that conflict. I mean, it does help. I don't think it fixes it personally, but it helps a little bit. Okay. That just looked a bit tight. All right. Social icons I would do something with. Not a massive fan of those. But do you know what? I'm not going to do it now. It's such a small detail. I'd say that is quite a successful redesign. Let me just see what that kind of looks like in a browser. Sketch going to play. Doesn't look like it. Why is it doing that? I don't know if that's just taking ages to load or I've done something wrong. I don't know. I just wanted to kind of view that in browser size. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to call that, I think, a job well done. Let's just bring in side by side the original. If I kind of move this across, and I'll bring this in. You might prefer the original. I hope not, but you might. It's taking ages to render. So instantly, once you can actually see the content of this page, I think the hero here is a big improvement. Loads more impact, kind of less apologetic and lost. The call to action buttons I think really work well. What we do section hasn't changed too much, but I hope you'll agree that actually ditching this Montserrat font was a big win actually, and way more consistency. It just looks right to use Oswald. The rest of that, the only real change was the text alignment. What makes us different section, even if you don't love my design, it would be hard to argue that it isn't much easier to read. So I would call that a win, regardless of it if it's down to your kind of personal taste. It also means you can actually see the images, and the images have a little bit more impact, which I think is good. I think it looks really kind of neat actually. And the Our Client section, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've improved that. Again, I'd love to know what you think. It would probably need a little bit more work to tidy it up, but I feel like that's a bit of an improvement. The worst section probably is this footer section, and I'd possibly think of completely redesigning that, but I don't think it's a million miles off either. So pretty happy actually with where we've ended up. I would love to know what you think. If you have any comments, please use the comments. This was a live video, but obviously if you're watching it not live, I won't see your comments and I can't respond to them right now. But it would be really interesting to hear what you think about the design. Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? What would you have done differently? I'd love to know. Thanks for joining me. And I think it's time to round this up and say thanks very much and see you next time. Bye.